Yeah, so welcome everybody to the Sit Chat. So before we really get into the topic, I would like to make a very brief presentation of what we do in what Sit Chat is all about. And then we get on to talking about Sit Chat and discussing the topic for the day. So let me first share my screen. I think all of you can see my screen. I need to now go into the presentation mode so that you can see the presentation screen. There you go. Now, let me say that SitChat is something which we started maybe about 3 months back with the idea of trying to, what should I say, get the startup community fed with information on various topics which is of interest to startups. At the same time, get those people who are really budding entrepreneurs, budding startups, budding mentors, or already mentors, already financiers, to also become visible to the startup community. These are the two objectives with which I volunteered to start the Sit Chat. My name is Dinakar. I am a consultant right now and a mentor, coach to companies for improving their performance. I've been doing this for about 3 months now. Today is the 26th Sit Chat, which I'm doing in consecutive weeks. And I chose a topic today, which is a little different than what we have always been doing. Today's topic is about getting the wisdom from a startup enthusiast in terms of what he would see the main contributors or the main challenges for the startup communities and how he goes about solving those. That is something which is very interesting because we are getting this from a practitioner. And also, I would like to say that Ronak, who is our guest today, is relatively young in comparison to the other mentors and investors we have had till now. So we are going to listen from the mind of somebody who is young, who is possibly kind of an example of the aspiration of our country, so that it will be really a very interesting chat on wisdom as a startup enthusiast. And before I hand it over to him, I just want to show our disclaimer, which talks about mainly the intent of ours being very, very noble and straightforward. So we would definitely like to mention that, of course, whatever we share on this chat show is something which is based on professional experience. However, before you really implement any of these things, please do consult your trusted professionals so that you don't really get into a situation which later becomes complicated for whatever reason. So with that very brief introduction, let me now stop my share and then hand over the screen to Ronak to continue telling us your wisdom on what a startup should be doing. And as we move along, I start asking questions and others also will participate in the discussion. What do you, Ronak, before really talking about startups, maybe you give a brief introduction about yourself to all of us so that we appreciate your background, which makes the wisdom even more valuable. Thanks so much. Over to you, Ronak.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dinakar, and it's pleasure having me on the panel. I would like to just tell you that I am into this industry and into this ecosystem from over a decade now. It's been 10 years that I am working with and on startups. Like when I was in college, I was somehow like not satisfied with the college studies, and so I thought that I should go out and work in industry. So luckily, I met some mentors. I met some people who were working in startups. Although I was an intern on that startup, and other 5 were from IIT Delhi graduates. So I got a very good exposure there. Although they like made me work all the dirty work there because I was the intern. And post that, I got very fond of this ecosystem, and I really liked the energy. So I got into this. We built our own product called Res Hotel. So I entered the product as a developer. I was a hardcore Ruby on Rails developer at that time. And after 4 years, I was a shareholder in the company, and I was looking after the operations, sales, and also a part of technology. So yeah, like I got a chance to work on the commercial side of the business post 2019. Like because COVID, we had to cease the product. We had more than 500 hotels who were working with us before COVID, but due to COVID, we had to cease our operations because our burn rate was too high. So I got into the service part of it. I started my own company, and I am now consulting startups which are based out of Kuwait, US. I have worked we have worked into logistics, we have worked into e-commerce. We have also launched a remittance product called N2 Express. So we have been part of it, and till now I am consulting startups, and again I am building one more product for hospitality itself. Mr. Dinka, you there? Yeah.
Yeah, please go on, Rona. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So like that's more or less from my side, like that's what my background is. So I belong from a tech background, but I got a chance to work on the commercial side, and now I am managing a tech company and also consulting few startups which are based out of India.
Yeah, Rona, would you like to present something, or we directly get into a discussion?
We can get into a discussion. I think that would be a healthy way.
Super. I would start by asking one question, and others can join in with their questions too. First is, when you look at new ideas, a lot of ideas, all of us keep getting ideas. Now, how
Yeah.
would you really sort out these ideas and then prioritize them, or really do some kind of an evaluation and pick up the best ideas that we keep getting? How would you do that? What is the secret sauce there?
So first, I would like to tell you like what mistake I made in my initial years when I was given an idea, or I was I got impressed by a product. So what I was used to do was basically I used to go and I start building it. And like being a tech from the tech background, we were more focusing on the tech part of it, and we were building the product like in a very efficient manner with the best technology we can use, with we finding the best people, and of course investing a lot of money in the development. But now if you ask me the same question, my approach is very different. Like what I do is I try to find the best possible cost effective way to build it. Even if let's say I can build that product on Excel, I will go and do it on Excel, create a MVP of it, go out, try out in the market, and see how it is working with the initial bunch of customers, and whether they are ready to pay me or not for that solution.
Uh,
So now we are now my approach is a bit different, and like that's how I work. And initially, with when we were working with few startups, we followed the same approach. We went away, we created a MVP, we tried out that product with initial 100 customers, got their feedback, saw what's going wrong, what's going well, which feature they like, which feature they don't like, where we can improve, and now are they ready to pay us or not?
yeah, so many a times the ideas what a startup founder gets would be
Yeah,
from his or her own experience,
correct.
right? And what you're trying to say is, whatever be the idea, uh, quick and dirty, get something which can be shown, and start selling it to get a customer, is what you say,
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
spending time in developing it and going round and round in circles.
So yeah, the developing the complete product is not the right approach, because like by the time you are ready with the product, there is new trend in the market. So you have to go fast. I would say like you have to go fast, learn fast, and fail fast.
Okay. Now, when you look at any idea, what is it that one needs to be focusing on to make the real idea very, very strong within oneself? That means, is it that I just go pick up some idea which I got, or should there be some kind of a connect with my own purpose or my own passion as a founder to really propagate that idea? What is the importance of that, or
Of
my own
course, like
competence?
you yourself should be convinced with the product first, because see, if you are not convinced, you cannot go and convince others. So that's one. Second, I think like the product which you are making, or the solution you are trying to make, like one, it should be solving the problem of a bunch of like people out there. There has to be audience of the product who are facing this problem, and like maybe in future they are ready to pay for the solution. But like initially you should have a product, like you should go and build a product which is solving a problem, and you think like people will pay for it in the future.
Okay. That means you believe that that is something which can be used in some industry
Correct.
or some place.
Yeah,
Now,
another approach which I usually follow, and now I think it's like it really makes sense, is that I go and talk to random people about it of different age group. So, like there was this idea in my head, and I was discussing it with one of my grandparents, and I realized that okay, like usually like people people like young people, they feel like that okay, like why we should go and discuss it with our parents or grandparents or with somebody who don't have that domain knowledge. But I think here like experience speaks a lot. So you should always go discuss that with different people, like talk to different mentor. And thanks to these communities like the one which you are maintaining, sit community, like we can now go and discuss the idea which we have before going and actually implementing something. So this actually makes sense because you are getting a very different like perception about the idea, and with somebody who has gone through a very different lifestyle, different thought process and everything. So you should also talk to freshers, because I feel like great ideas come from fresh people only. So yeah.
yeah, that's something very interesting. And you spoke about talking to various people, and then how important is getting what do you call it as a core
Third
team
opinion.
together before the idea really gets discussed? How important it is? How do you find a co-founder?
See, I think like creating a core team is very important. But another aspect of the product is launching of the product. Like when you should launch it, what is the timing of the product? That is more important as like even if we compare it to team or funding or the real idea. So the thing is like, what's the perfect timing of here? So like coming back to your question, like where you said like how we should look forward to the people who will be working with us. I feel like like it is always being said that people are the greatest assets of the company, but I say the right people are the greatest assets of the company. See, what happens is most of the time, and this has happened with me as well, like in my past, like we created a small team, and then like we got some people with a very different mindset. And I could say that with a wrong mindset, somebody who don't want to work in a like startup culture, who is not ready to take dynamic roles, or somebody who want to have a very comfortable like job cycle. So for those, like startup is not there. Like you have to be dynamic, you have to be ready to wear different hats. You have to be always like you have to back each other in good times, bad times, both. So you have to find people like that, because see, initially your team is what, your team is 2 people, 3 people, 4 people maximum. And if, like let's say out of 3 people, one person is not right, then your one third of team is not right.
Correct.
So you should find those people who are having the same mindset, who are ready to, like basically, I would say, tilt their scooter and start it. Not somebody who is like ready to go and drive an automatic car. For those, like startup culture doesn't fit in. Like that's what I have seen. And somewhere like they should also share the same vision. Of course, like being a founder, being like you are taking a lot of the risk, but again, co-founder is also taking the risk on your call. So
Mhm.
initially it was not his idea, it was your idea. Now he's trusting you. So like of course, like you have that burden on your shoulders always, being a founder. But yeah, finding the co-founder is very important. And because like of course you cannot do all things alone. So you have to find the right synergy there. So let's say if somebody is techie, so he should go and find a co-founder who is willing to take the like complete like handle the department of marketing or sales or the business development. So yeah.
Yeah, see, when you said that, something popped up to my in my head. Before I ask that question, I want to tell everybody, whoever wants to ask a question, please raise your hand, or you want to comment something, then you are most welcome to do that. Only to bring some order in the discussion what we are having. So, having said that, I go on to my hypothesis. See, if you have to get a co-founder or you have to get a customer, you have to be talking about your idea, right?
Yes.
Whatever idea. Idea may be in a very, very early stage, which may not be really available as a product. Now, when you do that, then there is always a risk of somebody copying your idea, isn't it? How would you
Yeah.
avoid that? Because that's a big risk for any. That's the reason why people don't talk about their ideas, right? How do you avoid that in the market? What is the strategy that one should adopt?
See, one, I think whenever you are discussing an idea, you should just discuss a very high level idea of it, like what domain you are trying to get into, and see like where people like if they are interested or not. If they are interested, they are showing the interest, and of course, like you have to do some homework there. It's actually like it's not actually just finding a co-founder; it's more like finding a like life partner sort of a thing. So you have to put in same ambition, put in same efforts there, and see whether your mindset is matching up or not, how much reliable is that person. And the thing which you said, that okay, like if what happens if he or she goes and create the same product and become the competitor, then I think it's not competition, it's more sort of a promotion, because somewhere they are also trying to solve the same problem which you are trying to solve. Let them solve it, but like here the service and the product wins.
Yeah, so I think what you are trying to say is getting a co-founder is not like finding a partner, is what you said. So that means there is no reason for to keep on dating. It is important that you you start off and then do the activity. That means you are talking about actually doing instead of simply dreaming and thinking and so many things. Just
Yes.
do it,
Yeah.
fail, and then change. That's a
Correct.
fantastic wisdom, which basically is something comes from a young generation compared to what people like me with gray hair keep telling everybody. You know, it's a interesting experience. Yeah, please go on, Milind. You had a question, then I'll come back to my questions. Milind, over to you.
Mr.
Please
Milan, you are
introduce
on mute.
yourself, Milind. You're on mute. Milind, you're on mute. Are you able to hear me? You're still on mute, Milind. We can't hear you at all. Okay, I think maybe there's some tech problem there. Ask to unmute. I'll do it in Zoom call. Let us see if it works. No. So, Milind, we come back to you. In the meantime, I continue with Ronak with my next question. See, one
Yeah.
is we spoke about IP being misused. Okay. On the other side, there is a lot of IP available in the market. You know, you have got a lot of patents which are publicized. So you've got a lot of information available. How do
Hmm.
you think one should go about, let us say I have an idea, I want to find a solution to a problem, but I don't know how to do it. So there, what is your opinion or what is your suggestion for companies who would like to possibly do patent research and then find out what technology, what solutions are already available in the market, and then go around it, then build a differentiator over and above that?
See, so for patents and all, like I guess now government is helping a lot. So if you are a MSME, you are a startup, like you can go to these organizations and they are helping you out of the box. So like they are even providing you these services for free now. So if you are a MSME or you are a startup, like you can avail these services for free for patent and all. You don't have to pay something, or I guess you just have to pay 20% of it. There is a 80% uh, like. Uh, um like 80% is a rebate on the on this for startups and MSMEs. And of course, like I know, like I have like this issue is there, but I think this is a like a bad part of our country, or I would say a very like a it's a nightmare that, like, of course, like these organizations, these departments and everything, corruption is a lot of like there, which is not somewhere supporting it. So yeah, like here I think again it's the same thing, that your product and your service will make a difference. Of course, like whether you are patent or not, I don't think that will make much difference here.
Okay. Yeah, you are again telling that the connect. That's an interesting perspective. That means with or without patent, as far as your customer satisfaction and service is
Yeah.
concerned, if they are excellent, then you can still succeed. Patent is not the barrier.
Yes.
That's a good way of looking at it. Milind, over to you now. I
Yeah.
think now you
Okay.
are able to speak. Please go on, Milind.
Mhm. Yeah. So question was, you spoke about saying that, okay, it's not like you keep dating for 6 months and find out if it's suitable and then you find out. But that 6 months and the time and the effort and money you have spent is gone completely down the drain. So what's the mechanism for reducing that? Is there anything which you can find out 1 month, 2 months? Because when somebody wants to join with you and do something, they'll say, yeah, 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 for everything you say. And then, because I've gone through this. I had two
Yeah, yeah.
partners who said I'll join, and then they worked with me for 3 to 6 months, and then they said, no, Milind, this doesn't work because whatever reasons they are. So that 6 months, you have lost a lot of time, effort, energy, and money. So are there any mechanisms which are built into some system or wherever it is that we can reduce this? Second thing is, are there any mechanisms to find out if this person is right for you? Right?
So
You're talking
usually in
about some kind of
startups,
horoscope matching.
Yeah.
so usually in startup and the culture where like we are building products, like it's again like you are actually working on an idea. I don't think there is such any mechanism, but of course, like your evaluation time, like you can reduce that. Like usually how I work with people is like I tell them you come and work with me for a week, and in that week I am not looking forward to their hard skills, like how much technical they are, how much how much they know about technology. Let's say if I've had a developer, I see them more as a human being, like what character they possess, how much they are there to support each other and all. So that is one thing. And second thing, like when you are again like working at a different level where you have hired somebody and you have shared like of course you have to share some shares, or if you're working on that model you should have an agreement in place. So employee agreement should be there in the place which says that you have to work at least for 2 years with us, then only you are eligible to take these shares or something like that. So those terms should be there. So this will be very helpful in that case where like people after 6 months or like after a year they are saying like okay now we don't want to work with you. So okay, like then they will also lose their part of the shares as well.
Yeah, I think thanks a lot, Ronak. I think Ronak spoke about the lesson 0 in recruitment, which is hire for values and then train for skill. So
Yeah.
most of the time we are looking for skills without really looking at the values at all. Values, how human are they? I think that is something which is very, very important. Thanks a lot. Anything further, Milind, from your side?
No, that's
Okay. I had, there are no other questions. I continue with my list. I've got a big list which I have made it here. Now you look at multiple products where there are so many good ideas and there possibly is a need to, but the need is not still felt, or it is dormant, okay, or it is not urgent.
Yeah.
Okay. In such a case, how do you go about creating the urgency for that need so that the customer is willing to pay? Otherwise, it will be a nice to have solution, but the need is there. What strategies do you think one should adopt in creating an urgency for a dormant need or an existing need?
See, I think like you never go and sell a product. You always go and sell a problem. So you just have to inform people or market that thing that this is the problem out there. And you are facing this problem every day. If you tell them and they understand, okay, like, yes, this is the problem, of course, they will start looking for the solution towards it.
So you mean you try to emphasize more on the problem and not really the product or the solution?
Yeah, correct.
And this is applicable for only services space, or would it also be applicable for hard products?
I think this is applicable only for the hard products or the products which we are looking uh, in future to make the mark. Like this is for those only. And again, like as I said, like the timing plays a very important role here, because if you see, like of course, like there's a case study on Airbnb. So Airbnb was launched at the time of recession, where people were looking to make some extra money out of the space which is already there in that place. So it was a win-win situation for both of them. For the guest as well, they were getting more flexibility. For the apartment owners, they were making extra money out of it. Of course, the recession was going on, so the timing was perfect. So again, like timing plays an important role, and like one, you have to wait for the right time first, or you have to look like what is the need of today. Again, like marketing and advertisement will help a lot to exaggerate things, but yes, of course, the timing is an important factor here.
Yeah, let's switch over to a different topic altogether. You spoke about mentoring companies from outside India too, startups from outside India.
Consulting, yeah.
Yeah. And what consulting those companies? What do you mean by consulting? It is some kind of providing some services to them, or you are advising them, or what is the role, if I may ask, if it is okay to
So
speak about?
yeah, absolutely. So basically, what I do is basically I work with them. You can say as their product manager or as their CTO. So we tell them what they have to do, what they have to build. So it's a combination of business consulting and technical consulting. So I tell them like right now you want to launch this feature. This will cost this much money in the development. It will take this much time, and like I also tell them that let's go take the feedback of the customers, see what we are getting. Once we get that, I try to figure out different alternative ways to do that, like to basically implement that solution. And if we can find any more cost effective solution for them, we do that. If they need that, we provide them tech team too. If they have tech team, I work with their tech team as well.
And do you see any differences between the regions of the world in terms of the startup site?
Yeah, a lot.
What would be the differences?
So, like, I have worked mostly in the Middle East side, Kuwait and all. So there, I still see that people, like, of course, like government is too much supporting, and like they are getting some like rewards or benefits monthly from the government to go and work out there. So that's there again. Like there, I see people are still like a bit like looking for a very traditional solutions there. But you, as compared to US or this side, they are moving forward towards AI and other tools. So yeah, I see that difference there.
So that means Middle East is more conventional, and US would be more open to. And
New
how is it in
technology.
India?
In India, like again, like it's a combination here. But like the only thing is, people they want everything, but they don't want to invest into it.
No, but
So
is
and
that not a is that not a challenge to be solved? If suppose something like that has to happen.
it is a challenge, but again, like the problem is like here to figure out who is the right startup to work with, because most of the startup here, like again, like I found a group of startup here, like those are only looking forward to funding. They exactly don't know what to do with funding, but yeah, they are just looking for funding. Like their goal is funding. There's like their goal is not to go build a solution or like add value to it.
So why do such startups come up? Is it because they want to make a fast buck, or what is the driver for such startups?
So I think like see driver for such startup is one startup has become a trend now. Like mostly like youngsters and all, they feel like that okay, like putting entrepreneur or a CEO on my profile looks very cool. So one reason is that. Second, again like I feel they and like with problem with these people are this is just their plan A, plan B, plan C. They work like that. So and then they say that there are 26 alphabets in. So yeah, so it's just that like they don't want to do this thing, it's just one option for them. So they said like okay, if it works, if it doesn't works, I will go for government job. So
So how do you filter out those people? How do you filter out such startups in your community whenever you want to uh, list out? And how do you what do you do to filter out such people?
see, I see how much dedicated the person is and what he has done. So go like there are like I see like there are founders who are running after funding, and then there is a founder who is saying okay, like if I get funding I will scale up, but if I am not getting funding, I'm trying to make my business profitable. Even if I'm making 1 rupee, I'm making rupee. And I see I like I basically I like to work with those people
I
because
think there is a huge wisdom in that, right? It's not about growing; it's about making sure that from the day one, you're able
yeah,
to make that money, make that make your business profitable.
yeah,
But
because
then there is
business.
always a hope, right? If you look at companies like Amazon or Flipkart, where they where they're even today possibly not making that 1 rupee, but still there is a lot of hope with everybody that they're going to grow big. They're going to really do something great. How does that get into the society? How do such companies thrive, and how do such companies become big?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, can you please repeat that?
No, I was telling, see, on one side, it is very prudent and extremely wise to say that, look, from the day one, you need to make money. Only then will the startup function. But there could be startups where the gestation period itself could take a long time, like the case of Amazon or Flipkart, where even today they are not making money, but still there is a lot of euphoria and everybody would like to invest in those companies. Their funding is not a problem.
Correct.
What do you say to such companies? Or maybe Swiggy, for example, or Zomato.
So see, like these companies, if you're saying Amazon, see, Amazon started as an online bookstore, and now they are into everything. So of course, like they have scaled up. So like if that scale is there, like of course, like you should work with those people. And
No. My question was for those startups, what makes them get the funding? For example, Swiggy, as an example, from the day one they have never been profitable, or Zomato, or is it that they are trying to solve a market need which always existed and was a big pain? Therefore, they become visible. What's the secret there? How do those companies get funds?
see, so it's like focusing on building a value. So like what value you are building, like what value you are adding toward it. So, and when you talk about these companies, see, these companies acted as a hook. So they first provided you one service, created the client base, then they started another service in the same segment. So like and this will, like, now you have a huge client base. Now you don't have to invest money again to go and acquire new clients. You have the like client base ready. It's just that you have to go and start basically selling new service to them.
So look at the case of Oyo, for example. See, I had a client who was into share service departments, and then Oyo came and they got somewhere close to about $600 million or something like that, with which this guy was totally thrown out, because they would go to the hotels, and then as a customer acquisition strategy, if the hotel is offering a room for 1,200 rupees, they are going to book the hotel rooms for 600 rupees or 800 rupees a day, because they have taken bulk for the entire month, and they sell it at 400 rupees because they want to acquire a customer. So how do you, and the company is not making money, why would
See,
people invest in such companies? What is the psyche there?
so they see the vision of the founder there, or they see like what's the vision of the company there. When you are saying that they were able to sell the rooms at 400 rupees, yes, of course they were able to sell the rooms at 400 rupees. But see, the thing is, the thing is that like they don't have one room. So what they do is, like, if you see the Oyo's strategy, so they are not selling one room, or they don't have one hotel, and they don't say that we have 10 hotels, we have 20 hotels. They just say that we have 200 room nights, or we have 300 room nights. So now I will go create the average of the room nights. You think that they are making a loss here, but actually they are not making a loss. They are averaging the cost here. So I can sell one room at higher cost in the season, and I can sell one room which is in outskirts in a non-season in a less rate. I can do that because I am running the average here. Initially, Oyo was making a lot of loss because their model was very different. What they were doing is they were basically they were saying like, okay, you have 12 rooms, give us 2 rooms, and now 2 rooms are permanently booked for Oyo for next complete year. And what hotel owner was actually booking his rooms again from Oyo and then selling it into the market. And there Oyo was making a lot of losses. Then Oyo changed the strategy. They got into this mode where they were doing revenue sharing. They were basically, they also got into the mode where they were managing the hotels, and they were taking good chunk of commission from the hotel on every booking, whether it was offline, online, from GoIbibo, anything. So they were doing that. So that's how they basically got into this. So again, so here, like if you are taking the example of Oyo, so look at the number of rooms they had. So of course, the friend of yours who was working was not able to scale it with those at that space, because of course he was not having that funding, and Oyo was sitting on a lot of funding which they were burning. So I guess I remember in 2014 or 2016, they were burning around 24 lakh rupees per day on marketing.
And that
So
is
if you're
something, and that is something you say is because of the vision and the passion of the founder that the fund companies and the fund managers would fund such startups. Is that the reason?
yeah, that's one reason. Second is timing, and you got the first mover advantage. So they were able to market themselves like this, where you go into like any city, you go into any streets where hotels or budget hotels are there, you were able to see the hotel Oyo name first and then the hotel. So they made that presence in the market. They did a lot of marketing efforts there. So like anybody today, like we all know about Oyo, but we don't
So,
know about Zuzu Rooms, or we don't know about Uncle Stay, or like other these startups who also came.
so you are
Ronak ji,
telling either the idea should be fantastic or the marketing should be great.
no.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have, sir, it
Yeah,
is Ronak ji, first of all, good evening to you. Interruption,
Very good.
apologies for that. But
please
I
go
think
on,
so.
Amar. Please go on.
What you said was about the hotels. It is about assured business. More than anything, this assured, they give assurance that they block the business for we are going to give Christmas business. And that is why they are competitive in the market.
That was their model initially, sir.
That is the
But
even today also, sir. Even today also.
no. Today they are not working on this part. They are working on this part, that they will give you a minimum occupancy. They are promising that, but then again, they are not promising you the exact revenue there. And if you
No, that,
see, there are a lot of cases already running on OYO. I
yeah,
myself,
in India में यही तो सब चलता है ना सर. इंडिया में यही तो चलता है. इंडिया में यही चलता है.
sir, issue वही है ना कि like everybody has their own work ethics. So I would say.
Yes. Ethics नहीं, ethics का काम है. End of the day, to be successful, you need to have good ethics.
Exactly, sir.
Exactly.
I think what he said was very interesting, where Oyo books the room and the hotel guy himself buys it from Oyo and sells it. And that's a very interesting model, where it is really, it's a very, very intelligent. The hotel guy has been a good entrepreneur there.
Yeah, hotel guy was a good entrepreneur because he was able to like buy his rooms at very low cost and then sell it at the 4 times of it in the season time.
In the season time. That's something very, very interesting. Now, Ronak, you spoke about your own startup, what you are doing. What is that about? What is it? You want to talk about that?
So previously, like we were doing Res Hotel. It's RESHOTEL, reshotel.in is the website. So it was a channel manager, and like we were basically so we were an intermediate layer between hotels and the OTA, like Go, Ibibo, Make My Trip, Clear Trip, Agoda, Booking.com, and Expedia. So hotel owner used to push their rates and inventory on our platform, and we were basically managing it on all of these different OTAs. And when we launched, we were so we were also focusing on the online presence of the hotel, whether he has a website or not, he has a booking engine or not, and we worked with budget hotels. So yeah, like we got very good response. Initially, it was very difficult to make them understand how it is beneficial for them. But when we got out into the market in 2017, like December, we launched our product. We worked with initial 3 hotels, and we were able to double their businesses in initial like 6 to 8 months. And then we like got out in the market and then start
No,
selling
but
to
now
different.
all these guys are still there, right? Your Go IDBO, then how are they managing it? That means you are instead of your solution, somebody else has come in there, is it?
Yeah, there are a lot of companies who are doing it.
Or they can choose from which company they have to operate.
Correct. So
Yeah.
channel manager is a product. So it's a management a tool which hoteliers use.
Okay. And now also you said you're developing your product.
Yes. So now I'm working towards this part where I'm trying to make the life easier for both guest and the hotel. I'm just trying to simplify the check-in processes for them.
So you are a specialist in hotels then.
I don't know, but somehow like I am always getting ideas around hotels and the solutions which I can build towards them. And we also have a plan to restart a Res Hotel or to build a such service again, because still it's been like 3 years, but hoteliers are coming to us and they are again appreciating our product and they want to work with us. So yeah, like I have to do something around it.
Are you focusing only on India or other part of the world also, sir?
So the existing startups which I'm working with are mostly out of from India only.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like especially working in Kuwait, Dubai, and US market. We also have a product in Nigeria. Again, like Nigeria, Ghana, these are again like pretty backward in technology, and still they don't have a proper online like online money transfer and these systems. So
Yeah.
we are working there.
US,
Yeah,
you're
before
tied
we
up with any hotels, any particular hotels, group of hotels, sir?
No, in US, like we created a remittance solution. You
Hmm.
can remit money from US and Canada to any part of the world. It's called n2express.com.
Okay, good.
okay,
Welcome.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sagar, over to you. What was your question? Please go on.
Hi. I just joined in, but there was something discussion about hotels and tech for hotel industry. Now,
Yeah.
what I wanted to know as a startup guy, and especially in hotel, you were there in this tech field for hotels during COVID.
No, before COVID. Like we started in 2017. We launched our product in 2017. And like we were able to acquire around 500 plus hotels.
Okay, so during COVID, you were still there in the market, or you are already
No,
exited?
no,
Okay,
actually our
you were
investors,
lucky.
yeah.
You are
So
lucky that you
actually,
got out. Okay. My
we
question
were very
was,
lucky
Ronak,
at, sorry.
my question was, in case you were there during COVID, okay, that was a time for hotels and the travel industries totally boomed. I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
swamped.
yeah.
Now, if you were just imagine if you were still there during that time, how as a startup guy, especially in your focus being hotel, how would you have managed, or what would you want to say to others in case they get into any situation in the future like this?
So, like, I had to actually like pray to God that this situation should never come again for anyone. But yeah, it was a very difficult time, especially for hotels who were because like we were not able to manage our funds. Our investors also said that okay, like we should not invest more into this product, and they were able to see the future. They told me that Ronak, for at least next 2 years, it will be very difficult for us. And again, like we were at the very early stage, we had to acquire at least 1,000 hotels to come to break even, and we were at 500 only. And again, like in COVID, suddenly all hotels stopped paying us, and our regular recurring expenses were there. So yeah, we seized the product. But see, again, I see like of course it was a big problem. It was a huge problem which occurred. But again, it also gives you like basically a runway to go and find a solution to it. So when COVID came, and by the time like everybody got to their homes, and like everybody was working from home, so I thought of this trend, and somebody in foreign also tried this idea that they started selling the room like hotels and all as a co-working spaces or a working space from your hometown. So again, I think like if you see like every like problem has a solution towards it. So like yeah, so you could find some other alternative way to manage it, because see, so most of the luxury hotels, leisure hotels. Actually, I am from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Again, like we have our city is known for hospitality and of course wedding destinations. So these are like big luxury hotels. What they start doing was they started selling their rooms at a very minimal cost to domestic clients, and it worked for them, so they were able to survive. And I think like if you are able to survive in the business, that's enough to like move forward.
So you are basically telling to be able to adopt and be agile so that
Correct.
even in such situations you can survive.
Yes. So
Uh,
that was another thing like which I was just trying to say, that you being a founder, like, or like you have to be open to ideas. You have to be a good, like you have to be open to advices. You have to stop thinking that you and your ways are always right. Sometimes you have to listen to the universe and the people around you, what they are telling to do. But again, like you, at the same time, you also have to know that when you have to be stubborn and follow follow your passion.
No,
yeah,
experience also counts a lot in this, Haldarji. Experience also counts when you try to build up a business. It's
Of
not just
course.
by looking, understanding someone. I think so.
Hello.
It has to go side by side. Otherwise, you are falling into a trap. And that is why I feel, as you said rightly, most of the startups are undergoing losses, or they're just closing down.
Correct, sir. And so it has become a bubble now, like
Yeah.
and like
It's the bubble sheet. I don't know which will burst when. No one knows.
correct.
Yeah, I think Amarji, what you said is very true. See, and Ronak, if you say you were talking about one thing which is a very critical, what should I say, success recipe is to really whatever idea you have got, try it out fast, try to sell it, see if it works in the market. Otherwise, fail. And
Yeah,
this activity should be done the fastest. That is
correct.
one. And in doing so, obviously, you have to be open to ideas. Otherwise, you will not be accepting failure at all. But there could be a situation where you don't accept failure, but still you succeed. Like in the case of Apple, where people keep quoting so many times, and they say that Apple is the world's largest startup company. That's what they keep claiming. And what is your opinion on that? Why do you think Apple has been so innovative, continuously innovative, and very, very quick in innovation? What is their secret recipe, in your opinion?
So I think like I have listened to a lot of the speeches from Apple founders and like even from Steve Jobs previously. So what I feel is they put this thing in the people they are hiring, that where we have to go. So they focus on this part of why we are building it rather than focusing on how we are building it. So what's the reason why I am doing it? Why I have started a company, or why I am working on this idea? If you are able to like push that DNA in everyone in your office or in everyone in your team, I think you will succeed.
But that means you're talking about the purpose of whatever you're doing. What is the purpose? And if that purpose is strong, then people will follow it, is what you say.
People will follow it. Again, like you also have to explain them. They have to come along with you. Like they should also see what you are able to see. Then only like you will be able to work with them. One again, like that's how like you can figure out who will be in your founding team or who will be in your core team, because they should see the same vision which you are seeing.
Aldar, I think so. There's a constant innovation thrust that Apple has given always. They want to come up with innovative products, number one, and they want to be the change makers in the world. I think that
Correct.
is the success story. That is a success story, sir.
Yeah, I think every entrepreneur, every founder, anybody who is even like he's doing small or big, he's a change maker, because he's not into job. He's trying to do something different. He's a change maker.
You can see the automobile industry, sir. Maruti
Yeah.
800, when it came, I know very well, Maruti 800 might be in the 80s, 78, 79, it came out in India. And today,
Yeah.
Maruti, they have been a change maker. Every 3 months, you find a new model, new design. The car output is there, and many are coming in slowly.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I guess that's because they also have to stand in the market, and that's a market competition now.
It's just like a hotel menu. They have to change they have to find something new. Every time you go, you find a new menu there. That's it.
Yeah, that's what said. Now that intelligence is not important. Consistency is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And Ronak, coming back to one of the topics which you said, to try out the idea and after that make sure that you try to get a customer, otherwise you fail, and then try to get a different customer. Now, there, my question to you is, whatever be the idea, what are the secret sauce, or let us say secret recipes for finding out the pilot customer? What kind of client should one approach? Is there anything? Can you give some tips or hints on that?
So like one, like I think everybody in the panel here is more experienced than me and already doing great job. Uh, so yeah, just I am just giving my suggestions and advices around it. Uh, so I think like see for your initial like pilot customers, the customers who are ready to pay you, you have to give them some offers, or you have to basically run some campaign sort of thing. So like the way like you have to give them some free trials, but with the fair terms that after this time that you will be charging them X amount. Or you make a like you make a point, or you make a mark in their business and say, okay, like we are solving this and we will achieve this for you. Once we achieve it, we will be taking this like you said that like if we take this hotelier example, if I'm saying, I'm promising them that, okay, I will give you 70% occupancy, then I will be charging 20% on every booking. So once I achieve that, I am able to charge that. So if you give them something first and then you say, okay, like then you pay me, then they can become your pilot customer. Also, I guess like we can go with these strategies out there, which Netflix and Hotstar, they follow, that they give you, they take your credit cards and all initially, and they charge you very little amount, 1 rupee, 2 rupees, just to validate your credit card. And they say, okay, like after 30 days you pay us. In those 30 days you see how the service is, what content is there. If you are if you like it or you get addicted, of course you start paying them.
It's very interesting.
Addiction, sir. Addiction, Haldarji. I think so. If you ask me, the product is a very important factor that plays in the success of any business today. And one among them, which I follow, is Starbucks. Throughout the world, wherever you go, Starbucks. I think so. The consistency of the product, be it India, be it Taiwan, be it China, anywhere in the world, US. I think so. Any store you go, they give you the same product.
Correct.
That's how you reach out.
And again, like they have made a brand of it.
They have built a brand. They have, that's where the success lies. They have consistency is there, sir, any business. So any business to grow, I'm just giving an example of Starbucks, be it even in my case, business, or anyone else's case. Pilot Pen, if you take a Pilot Pen, Reynolds, Pilot Pen at one time was known as the Parker Pen or Pilot Pen. They had a brand name. Slowly they went out of market because new innovations, they didn't go with innovations. But still, people who know what is Pilot, they know what is Pilot. But today, anyone you go, the first thing you want for a ball pen is you ask for a Reynolds ball pen. So that's, I think so, they have been consistently in the market, and that product makes a big name for themselves. Maggie, I know very well when it was launched. I know the company very well. And today, Maggie, every household has just name. So I think so, consistency of a product is very important.
Yeah, so from the startup perspective, I think what you said is very true. Consistency is extremely important. Then you spoke about getting a customer by giving something before you gain anything. It's again some fundamental principles of marketing in BNI. I don't know whether you're exposed to BNI, Business Networking International. There is a slogan which says "Givers gain." You first give before gaining. That is the primary thing which you're talking about. Give value before asking for cash from the customer. And then you can get pilot customers. Now, when you say that you succeed and fail fast, right? Which is either you succeed or you fail fast, so that you can learn upon that and build the next version or next strategy. Now, these points which you mentioned, I just read out. One is be open to new ideas, because that is extremely important. Only then can you really learn. Then pursue your passion, because that is the place where your core strength will come. Otherwise, you are really going round and round in something which is not your own baby. Then put the idea to reality fast. I mean, whatever idea you got, execute it fast, and then create a MVP, try it out. Then you said get a customer by giving value before cash, and either succeed or fail fast. And finally, do this consistently. So these topics, why do you think these topics are not part of any kind of a training program or some kind of a mentoring program, where there is a lot of jargons used? This is very simple. A lot of jargons are used. You got before you start anything, people talk about what is the total market and what is the TAM, SOM, and all that. And why is it that? Is it because the what is the psych there? Why do people complicate the entire thing so much?
I think like you said, right, like a lot of different mentors and a lot of different agencies, I would say, are doing this thing, who are actually they are trying to make their own business there. So rather than actually helping anyone or like voluntarily supporting any startup, they are trying to make their own business. So like I guess that's why they are trying to make it very difficult. But I think it's pretty straightforward.
No, but like what you said, if the primary idea of a startup to succeed is to first give to the customer before you gain anything, first you create a value to the customer before expecting cash.
Yeah.
And the same philosophy is applied here also. even the others could possibly succeed in the same way, isn't it? Or is it that those agencies or those companies would like to make a fast buck, and that's why they try to approach in these directions?
So,
Dinakar, sir, I would like to add, Alta sir, I would like to add one more word to what Dinakar has been telling. There should be loyalty. There should be loyalty to whatever we do, or with customer acquisition or business. If there's no loyalty, I think so. Even that has been a big subject among all big consumer stores today. They want to have more and more customers. They have rewards for loyalty programs, just like this. I think so. This is one thing that should add to this program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sagar, you had a question. Ronak, you were telling something. We interrupted you. Can you please conclude your statement?
No, that's okay. Mr. Sagar can go ahead.
Okay, Sagar. Okay, go on.
This is not about the question. This is something to add to what you asked Ronak. Dinakar, the very reason why neither of the consultants nor the startups are in that mind space is only because of the mindset of rat race. I mean, they are in that urge to make money rather than actually they started probably to solve a problem. Okay, but in that whole zest of when they are try to develop their product or service, the reality bites and they are in this urge to earn money. And that is what actually pushes either the consultants or the others to think elsewhere.
Yeah, I think
So-
what you said is very true. See, if you look at our last week's sit chat with Manoj, which was about giving. Now, how are you going to give unconditionally without really thinking? And it need not be money at all, whatever way you're giving. And so this is something which is again further ratified with whatever Ronak spoke about from the perspective of somebody who's possibly half the age of Manoj, right? It is not not the same kind of a wisdom. It's not somebody who has experienced so much and is talking about from his wisdom. So what I get from the entire discussion is that if you look at whatever that we want to do, my passion is to see that we create world-class companies. For creating world-class companies, you need to have practices. And in many companies, there are no good practices because there is no consistency. And there is no consistency because we don't have patience. We want to constantly keep on trying to make sure that the job gets done and it gets done today. I think that mindset itself is a killer for a startup, isn't it?
Rome was not built in a day.
So it is not possible that you say that you do it today. You be ready to fail. Nothing happens. But at least try it out. Because of that need to do it today, everybody possibly try to be perfect. And by being perfect, you are anyway procrastinating. You didn't do anything at all because you want to make it a little better.
Correct.
Even the investors in the startup investment, when you look at and which are the companies that actually have got busted. For example, if you look at the biggest valued company, Byju's, they have not even filed last year's financials. But that was the one which attracted a lot of investment. They are the poster boys, right? Now, what value are they actually imparting to this? I mean, they are in the sector of education, right? Now, what are they actually wanting to come? They did not solve that problem. They finally ended up selling mobiles or tabs. That is how they made their revenue. So the urge was to earn money. But if you look at the previous generation, that's also a startup. Say, for example, when Jamshedji started an industry, that's also a startup. I do not know what is the difference between a startup. That's just a glam word. But when they established an organization, an institution, or an industry, they built a society, they built the nation. That was their purpose, or that was something that was fire in the belly. And yes, of course, they did make money. It's not that they did not make money. They did make their money, but their primary motto was, I am going to create employment. I am going to industrialize something. But when Byju's wanted, all that he did is put his salespeople to harass the parents and make money out of the tabs that they sold. And that is why that got busted. Vedantu got busted. You name those people, they are getting busted because if they wanted to impart quality education, they would rather do something what Manoj told last week. That is, they would have given unconditionally. And Byju's was doing exceedingly well when he was not in that mobile selling or tab selling business. That is how it is.
I liked your good word, glam word. Startup is a glam word. I like a word. I should make a note in my diary. And that's the reality. That's the reality.
So here, just to add that definition of startup is basically this, that it is something you're trying to create a solution for a problem out there. So if you say that I'm going to go open a cafe, it's not a startup.
Yeah. The
So, like
solution to a problem where there is no solution yet, right?
Yeah.
It's a problem where there is no solution yet. So the other one, opening a cafe, would be an entrepreneur.
Correct.
So that's the
Or like you're
differentiation.
doing a trading, you're doing a business, that's different. And startup is different. Like a startup, initially when you are getting into startup, you're only solely getting into this to solve that problem, to basically, and you know that there is an audience for it, and tomorrow they will pay you for it.
I will not agree here with you, Haldar sir. You say it is just finding the solution. But if you are telling we are finding the solution, where is the solution? Why are startups losing money? Aren't they taken for a ride?
Because the
Are the
intent,
public taken for a
the,
ride?
the ulterior motive was something different, na, Amarji. The ulterior motive, they start with solving the problem, but baad mein, na, it is like earlier, these startups, what they call today as investment, earlier you would take it as loan. And there
Loan.
was, I mean, we would always be on fire. We would be running. Apna jo loan hai, kist kaise karenge? How do we pay the interest? So, Zamir was always talking to you. But now, चेप लो, जितना आएगा उतना चेप लो investor से.
तो
बाद में
fundraising है वही काम है ना सर, वो तो fundraising है. I had a good
what
friend.
happened? I mean, Ashneer Grover is the other example. I mean, at least what we see. चेप लो, जितना है चेप लो. See, there is one startup where Shilpa Shetty is. I think that is an IPO that is coming up. I've forgotten the name.
Mama Earth.
Mama Earth. Okay, and they got in all throwaway prices, and now when they want to put an IPO, it is at 380 rupees. Initial public offering at 380 rupees, for which she has paid not more than 3 rupees. So
Yeah, I think
यहाँ पे
there is too much hype. There is too much hype built upon a certain thing, and we get carried over by this. The youngsters get carried over by the hype, and then they go for a toss. Earlier,
I think
they go for a toss. That is where experience counts. I say always, whatever a startup may be or a business may be, it is also a business. Finding a solution for something, we find a solution at home and we talk to our seniors. We want to, okay, Dinakar sir, can you guide me in which is the right way or not? So somewhere, I think so, we are missing the bus.
Yeah, I think it was a very, very inspiring discussion. So since we are already at 8:30, let me 9:30, we try to end this discussion. First of all, thanks a lot, Ronak, for such a, what should I say, wise wisdom which you shared with us. I'm sure it would really make a big difference for all of us. And also, it's a kind of a wake-up call for many seniors who are considering themselves as advisors, to understand that the same wisdom, same advice is available at half their age, so that that becomes a kind of a challenge. And I would like to conclude with whatever Sagar was telling, that in the run for the money, in the run for the in the rat race, all of us many a times forget our primary objective and try to do something on a short term, which possibly defeats the whole purpose with which you started your startup.
Absolutely.
So my startup, I also call myself as a startup. My startup is to solve the problem of execution excellence. Solve the problem of execution. That is what I do. And in this case, if I see many a times I'm going round and round in circles, and always I've been trying and multiple trials and multiple failures. But what keeps me going is still that there is a pain. There is a severe pain wherever I go. And we have been trying to get solutions. More and more closer I come to the solution, the magical solution, I see that it is very simple. It's simple to allow people to fail, allow people to experiment, give the people the space to experiment, space to be on their own, space to make a mistake, but emphasize more and more on the purpose, instead of really bulldozing some particular system or a rule that they have to follow. And that flexibility is the one that really creates that magic, is what I have understood and what I have felt. With that,
Wow.
thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Ronak.
Haldar, where? Yeah. Haldar, where are you from, sir?
I am from Udaipur, Rajasthan, sir.
Wow, हमारे बगल में है भाई आप तो.
Can you please all come to the
I am from
switch on your
Makrana.
cameras? We can take a small screenshot so that we will all have our memories, and then we can close our sit chat today. Thank you so much. Let me take a screenshot. Thank you so much, and then looking forward to another exciting chat next week at the same time. Thank you. And goodbye.
रौनक जी एक बात before we leave, रौनक जी one word. यहाँ
Yes,
कोई
sir.
नहीं ज्यादा वहाँ